All right, it's fresh and fresh and fresh and fresh and fresh off the beginning of the end. Spotty motherfucker. If you know the reference, mention it. All right, Kali Oracle pulled for the 8-8 portal. We're still continuing on that, as today is the 27th of the 9, so we got a 999 action happening today, and this is the 8 that the 8-8 portal landed on the numerology day of 7 resonance, but also pulled a 9 card, and led to the 8 before the 9 portal. Now, I talk about this because I've been doing like a little bit of a series and stuff like that, because I read things differently than the average, tales and whatnot of the cycles, because when I was in my youth, I had to discern for myself what was a true yes from the universe and what was a true nay from the universe. As we know, there's no such thing as a not, can't, decipheration, basically there's doesn't exist, right? And so that said, I had to create something for myself, because I didn't want to be told. I didn't want to, we've got our grandparents fucking with us, and we're trying to break, chains and mend chains and create new things, evolve. That's the ticket. We're trying to evolve on this planet. And how the fuck are you going to evolve if you keep thinking and doing the same thing that's always been done? Not to say that there's, not some universal ceremonial and science behind the ceremony. But in time, place, and scape, the thing that makes those traditions powerful is the continuum, is the science behind it, is the truths that cannot be denied, time and true, and time yonder again. So, if it makes sense, use it. If it don't, toss it out the window, and understand that my interpretation is limited by my comprehension of things, just like anybody else's interpretation is limited by their comprehension of things. And I say that to mean this is ancient, from tried and true, and the tarot cards are ancient, which build these guys here and stuff like that. So these things are passed through time, and the knowledge is passed through time, and we are limited by our interpretation, which is why so many readers and whatnot are, you can regurgitate the same thing, because a 9 of Pentacles means a 9 of Pentacles at all times, and then its relationship to what's pulled before it and what's pulled after it and stuff like that. That's when people start to get into the science of analysis and stuff like that. And so, whereas I've never breached a tarot analytical training, I can't really say I'm a tarot card reader. So I pull on astrology.com when I want the interpretation. So you're going to get that bit of interpretation from like internet crap and stuff like that. And but you're going to get my interpretation of the overall mathematical relationships to the day at hand related to the chakras, and the wellness of the mind, body, soul, in order to build your home, health, hearth, wealth process, you know. So hopefully you find some relationship to that, because I'm a wellness worker, and so I know chakras. I'm a body worker, and so I know how to see the elements within the body, the physical. I can tell you when the mind suffers from the elements, either vitiation or imbalance, or the many combinations that happen. Okay, so get what you can out of it. Give what you like. You'll see. I've got a Venmo, and I've got a Cash App. Cash App is Anarchy Wellness. Look it up. Tati-Awana is the Venmo. So again, find it. You know, if you really want to donate to something like Artwell, I've got 3 jobs here sponsoring my ability to work with y'all for complimentary, but they in no way are related to this particular business of mine, whether it's volunteer or not. They just, keep me functioning. I do M-Sculpt and stuff with Rated R Aesthetics, and I do body work and skincare with Dessoir. So, shout out to those places, and whenever you're in town, have at it. Make it so. So, as always, eternity to eternity, magical, sacred harmony, positive power, infinite connection, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo, reflection. All right. Those are nutshell associations to my comprehension of things, okay? So, however I am reading color frequency, number frequency, aura frequency, whatever it is that I'm reading, food, whatever, I am reading on a frequency level that has been delivered to me from the universe to say what is what, what frequency is what. I have that discernment, okay? And so the chakras may change a little bit than what has been told, because I have been enlightened about their frequencies. Okay? Again, take it or leave it. Have your own discernment. All that bullshit. And when someone puts their hands on you, send them to the cemetery. Send them to the ground. Let them there be found. Hands without, by the hands that stop them. Who can stop them? Who can stop the hands of violation? You can stop them. All right? So, as we manifest that which we desire through the 8-8 portal, keep it in mind, we pull the Kahadia. That's not it. That's not it. That is not it. Okay. Khadga. Khadga. Okay. Khadga. Deuces. So, I mean, you know, before I interpret, what am I interpreting here? I'm interpreting a knowledge of when to fight and when to take flight, a knowledge of when to cut it down and when to offer solace of that which has passed on. A duality again about carrying the plights of both the predecessor and the ancestor, the knowledge of the wounds, and the simple fact that, you know, whether you're right or wrong, righteousness or not, when you do battle, you will be affected regardless. And so having that, you know, care for yourself to be capable of smiting, if you will, and capable of knowing when to resist the smiting of another. Okay, these are very difficult things because, you know, it's like this, and this is gonna get dark. Sorry. Trigger warning. All right, so it's like this. Folks who, let's say folks are forced into some sort of, you know, by way of anything, into, you know, choosing to be a parent at another time, I'll say it like that, instead of the time that they were seated, and opting to allow that child to pass. I tried really hard not to say it. Anyways, the thing about it is the pro-life, the pro-choice, all of that sort of battle, you know, it is, you know, one's own. You know, when we come into a spirituality, it is very hard to know that you might have to end something, you know, for the greater good, if you will. Or I'll say this, those who are innocent, so to speak, in war and whatnot, current, past, you know, future, those children, those souls, those are warriors. Okay, all of these you know, instances where we're forced into being the animal that kills another animal, we are forced to live with that, regardless of whether we choose the life or the unalive crap that is associated with, you know, and it's horrific. Parenting is horrific. So, you know, there's no right way to do it, you know. I often challenge people to be aware that, you know, your parenting starts the second you seed, and regardless of whether you keep or choose to, other than keep, you know, said life, it stays with you forever, you know. So it's a forever thing. You carry it with you. So you see how, you know, one death carries another death forever, you know, that sort of thing. Because in life, ceremony is backed by science of tradition, backed by the power of thought, the prayer power, if you will, and over time, yet only 3 ceremonies dictate a universal continuum, and that is life, death, and marriage. And so we take not lightly these things. We take very, very heavy these things, guru, if you will, very heavy, very, very heavy. And so, you know, what are you fucking with? What are you jeopardizing? And the end, 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 and the end. So, This is what that card says to me. Okay? You know? My judgment to, to pass, my judgment to wield something means it stays with me for all of time and such. So, those of us who are warriors know this. Those of us who view the innocent deaths as warriors know this. Those of us who have suffered mass murder know this, okay? Those of us who have suffered, the face of extinction, we know this, okay? And if you don't know this, and you never knew how to articulate it, that's one way, okay? Kahadga. Let's see if I got any of that right as far as, what they tell me. Okay? So, she wields the holy sword of divine severance, empowering the soul in radiance, letting go. She initiates the courage to bear the pain of loss. Okay, so there it is there. That's how they say it. Okay, bearing the pain of loss. To bear the pain of loss and wisdom to realize the secret blessing that can only arise when we embrace change. Where our strength of will may falter, she intervenes to ensure we do commit to being without sabotage of our unlimited fulfillment and spiritual progress. She will halt any allowance of our souls to be ensnared in any kind of deception or trap in fear. She is the liberator, and her sword clears the path, revealing truth. Kahadga is the Sanskrit word for sword. Devi, Kahadga, Hastka. Okay, it should sound like Kahad Gangsta. Okay, but that's not what it says. It says Devi, Kahadga, Asta. Means the divine mother who wields the sword. Bringeth life, taketh life. Choice. What is the sacred weapon? The sword severs, breaks, and destroys. It can be a symbol for truth and a need for the souls to let the need for the soul to let something go or someone go. Even though the attachment of the ego may demand that we remain connected out of fear of loss or fear of pain of loss. Okay? So again, even though, I might not feel I have the strength to take a life, heaven forbid, if you come at my kid, the story is fucking different, right? It's just different. It just is different. And if you're faced with a zombie, do you have the power to chop the head off, hit the brain? Do you have the skill? Can you do it and still walk the path of loving life whilst everything else croaks around you? So, Devi Kali's sword is a symbol of her will and her attainment. Her sword knows which attachments require severing and when and how to obtain such a release, even when the holding on, even when holding, how do you read that? Her sword knows which attachments require severing and when and how to obtain such release, even when the holding on perhaps out of fear or guilt or doubt, denies us the capacity to even consider walking away. Her will prevails. Sometimes we invest in relationship, situation, places, and opportunity. Okay? Those of us who participate, and forgive me, I'm gonna go off on a tangent right now. Those of us who participate in, like, say, the fashion industry, but then ignore all the human trafficking and or massage therapy, spa industry, of all the human trafficking within that field, and hotel industry, all the human trafficking within that, stuff, and people don't like to talk about these things, right? But then we have the safety and the comforts of our own delusions in order, but then, life comes and sweeps something out from under you, okay? Because either you're not praying for the right, or you fail to pray for the right thing, or you fail to take the right action, or you fail to see, and then it bumps you down so that you can see, okay? If you do what you say, you will forbid yourself, your spirit, from doing, participating in the littlest form. Then, as we all know, I bring this up all the time, I have to use my phone. I am participating in the, slavery that incubates the culture of the phone. Titanium and whatnot, and all that stuff that... So, don't get me started. Did I already start? I kind of already started. So, let me go shit it. Alright? So, I'm just like, it's not that I am without forgiveness. It's that I must see and call it like I see it. Okay? So, even myself included. Alright? So, when the ship goes down, I'm on that ship because I participated. I have no qualms with that. I will face my maker on that trip. But I'll tell you this much. Those who ain't done the work that I done did, they ain't coming with me and where I go. We're going somewhere else. That much is true. Because I'm, again, fighting for the evolution. I am doing today what 7 generations from me won't comprehend and know. Because, as much as it's about me, it ain't about me. That's that duality. It's about me, but it ain't about me. So my attachments don't matter. My ego doesn't matter if the soul dictates, a hierarchy of severance. So then be it. Because we feel it's needed or beneficial only to release later, if at all, we have outgrown it, and then it becomes, at best, something slowing down or awakening, and at worst, a direct impediment to our spiritual growth. Okay? So if I'm participating with something and I deny my participation, I may be denying my ability to grow. Regressive tendencies creep up. Oh, those creepers, okay? Let me just tell you about them damn creepers, okay? So this is why I started at 3 years old. I was 3 years old when I said, the sitcoms solve their problems in 30 fucking minutes. Why can't we? The parables, and whether they be from the Bible or mythology or wherever, they tell us all of the things. So how come we don't know? Right? This was my awareness. If and you know it's wrong, why so weak to do what's right? Stand up, get up, stand up for your rights, and all that shit, man. So, again, like I say, I shan't participate with the madness, right? So, politics, that's a great one, right? Politics. I ain't participating with that madness, not one little bit. You can't call it me. If it ain't about sacred sites and anti-human trafficking, how much do I give a shit? I don't give a shit. That's between all y'all earthlings. I ain't got time for that. But that's just me, right? Because my calling was to do that when I was 18. My calling was to do that another time. That wasn't my life passion to be involved in that. I just had a heritage of awareness of, the plight of the people. And so I was, product of my environment, if you will. All right. Even if we have a sense that something is not quite right, our awareness can fail to be complete when we determine to remain attached and unwilling to see the truth that threatens that attachment. Unwillingness to see, and open us to a superior outcome. Did that make sense? I should try it again, right? Even if we have a sense that something is off, our awareness can fail to be complete when we are determined to remain attached and unwilling to see any truth that threatens that attachment. Now it makes sense. And open us to a superior outcome. Okay, so if I keep wearing Adidas or letting them sponsor me, then I am participating in the perpetuation of children being sexualized. Ain't I? Or is that a fad that, just because they did it in the past doesn't mean, we have to hold them to it and all that stuff, Once you violate a motherfucker, you a violator. There's no covering that up. Okay? You make your peace with God. And that's all I'll say on that. We may admit something is wrong, but choose to believe that if we just change ourselves somehow, or work harder to heal the other person, then the negativity that will transform into something positive. I think I just talked about that. We then become trapped in an impossible situation of our own creation, meaning you will stand and face your shit. We then become trapped in the impossible situation of our own creation, knowing something is failing to work, but that we are failing to be capable of letting go, fooling ourselves. Foolish little girl, you're just a little girl. You didn't know it when you wanted to. Fooling ourselves into thinking we can heal and transform through methods that fail to accomplish the task. Okay? So, if I am going to SELLSEX, then guess what? Go ahead. But to program another to do so, that's on you. And all that comes from that one being programmed by you. Until that one takes charge of their own discernment and is capable of shifting whatever. So, how do I say? I am guilty until I have seen the light, and once I have seen the light, I can't be shown or deny said light. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? When Kali Devi's sword appears as a message, she advises that whatever we are struggling with can and should be handed over to the higher entities, powers, and whatnot, she will sever the threads of attachment, and we can trust that if someone or something is meant to remain in our lives or to return according to the divine love and wisdom, then so shall it be. If we need to go against the divine love to keep something, it can only create suffering. She will fail only to remove that which impedes on our path, on your path, but support you. So the release brings you joy rather than endless sorrow. So oftentimes I pray, and I pray something to the way of, shelter that person, if it's in a good way. Feed that person if it's in a good way. Feed that person only in a good way. Heal that person only as much as they're willing to and ready for healing, okay? So we become very exact about our prayers. We become very exact about the science of our vibrations as we speak. The oracle of, and speaking of vibrations as we speak, when I say these words wrong, it's detrimental. I don't front on that awareness, okay? It's irritating because language is, again, a vibration held throughout time, and everybody's every language, every utter fucking sound, vibration, sound bites that rule the world can shift, okay? And my aim is to, sure, I have my own interpretation. At the same time, I lack the authority to shift any of this resonance they have, interpreted. So forgive me. Forgive me. The oracle of Kahadga denotes divine working in a struggle. In a struggle you are moving through at this time. Denotes divine working. Okay, so this means that whatever your desires that you manifested on the 8-8 portal, okay, trust, again, that only the truest desire and only one that resonates with the universal desire is going to, meaning, sometimes I'm going to pray for destruction of a thing, and it is, if the earth decides that destruction is necessary, the earth will qualify the resonance of my wishes. Likewise, if I am to heal, and I pray for healing, if that healing is sanctioned by creation, then the universal creation, then by Dick Gregory it will be. If that makes sense. There is a predestined series of events due to occur as orchestrated in the higher levels. The timing will incorporate the paths of those who have soul contract with and the movement of the collective consciousness because I was faked and fooled and all this other stuff as a youth, and then I took that into my adulthood. That was, I was meant to go through, those ideologies so that I could break them apart and, again, discern for my own, false idols. That's just an example. I like to give people examples that are very common. We all go through disillusion, breaking down our false idols, yeah. So, make your own way. For you to be at an appropriate vibration, to move in harmony with where you need to be and whom you need to interact with, certain releases have to take place now. You can trust in the doors that close just as much as in the doors that open. And that's all I say on that. So that was that day, 8/8/2025 into 9/9/2025, and I believe, how did I do it? So I said 8/8 into 25, and then the next one I did was 8/17/25, and then I did the 9/9/25, as well as today's 27. So you see the rhythm? You see, I'm trying to pull it for a circle, because a lot of them ones was like half, were, very incomplete, because it was just it was necessary to be incomplete at this time. I wanted to, sort of show that when you manifest something, you then have to sit with what you've manifested, and you have to face it. And it may be what you want, and it may not be what you want. And so you have to be willing to detach from it as immediately, if necessary. I want a new car. 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 You get a new car, and you got a shit ton of bills because of it. Sell the shit, turn it back and give it back, whatever. Sometimes we can't go back, but if you can, after realizing, then that's what you need to be available to witness. The realness. 8/8/25. I wrote this freaking huge because I was like, oh my god, I can't even read. So you guys can pause if you want to and analyze my writing, eh? See how crazy. Excursion. So the 8/8/2025, that equaled 7. Ironically, was like a so this is what I was interested in. Okay, so it equals 7, right? And then the following day is an 8. So when we talk about the 8/8 portal, we talk about how you have these 2 days, if you will, that are so interconnected vibrationally with the universal and physical capacity to create something. That's the amazing thing about it, okay? And then it goes into 9, which is the next portal. And so it gives you, just in its formation, eternity, just in its formation of infinite connection. 8/8 portal is infinite connection into infinite connection into infinite connection into infinite connection into positive and vertigo. Which, again, is only in vertigo depending on where you're at, but in this case, universally true. This is what makes things powerful when we talk about frequency. It is when your capacity to comprehend that which comes before, that which comes after, and that which comes in between, and when they connect, that point of connection, the infinite infinite. It connects somewhere. And in that place is where we found ourselves during that portal. And that's why we had the amazing capacity to achieve where the power of our thoughts was amplified. Okay, so infinite connection to eternity, eternity to eternity, harmony equals power. That's what the dates are. Okay, so again, you have your own discernment, but those are mine. And so I'm going to go ahead and say it one more time. Infinite connection to eternity, eternity to eternity, harmony equals power. Power, power, power. Power. A power day when you multiply your intuitions and trust the blended duality is balanced with constant dueling sound vibrations. Sound vibrations, meaning the frequency of sound, meaning sound vibrations. So again, it comes back to what your time and space is occurring must be in truth a demand from the universe in that time and in that space for it to manifest for you. Okay, does this make sense? Okay, so let's read that one more time. A power day when you multiply your intuitions and trust the blended duality is balanced with constant dueling sound vibrations, accumulations of interpretations, and equal power. 8-8 portal on a power day notes the yesterday's positive assertion into tomorrow's infinite connection, thereby giving the portal its power. Enabling compound thought or prayer between dualities, point of connection, interconnection. 8/18/2025 equaling 8, because I guess I didn't get around to the other 8 reading, and so I wanted to catch the next one, so and I had to pull my cards on those days, so those are the days that I pulled cards, so that's why it's chosen instead of the other 8 days or 8 days. Okay, infinite connection, eternity, infinite connection to eternity, eternity to eternity, harmony equals infinite connection. They say, all right, so now I'm getting into the cards that they had pulled, that I pulled from the, or something. Maybe I got knowledge off the internet. Let's read. Okay, they say, oh, yeah. You guys might remember this. The 2-6 to eternity. So I'm going to clarify right now. So when I say to eternity, right, we've talked about the duality of eternities and then them coming in and out of each other and how that makes the blending of the 8, and how many times that has to happen, and cell division and all this other kind of stuff, cell coming together and all this stuff being creation and all, and why 2 multiplied by 4 is 8, 2 meaning the dual eternities in a sacred connection create the infinite connection. Let's hope that made sense to you. So I want to discuss to eternity. When I say to eternity, eternity, and then to eternity. Okay, so why that? Because there is an infinite amounts of eternity. And so we do have to understand that being completely without is the same as being completely with all. And that is a duality. So whereas it's two, we also also okay? Also. So there's just so much to know in the vibration and the frequency and the meaning of every little thing. They say 2-6 to eternity, positive, infinite equals infinite connection, is indication of diplomacy and balance in navigations of relationships, support who you care about for depending connections, resolving practicalities with a good disciplined professional allies or professional. They say 35 magical harmony equals infinite connection is a time to consider self-care practices, meditations, organized thoughts, prayers. I say about this info is more on the 8-8 portical, invoking the 9-9 portical, participation because of the 1-8. Or eternity, infinite connection, positive and vertigo. Or the next day landing on 9. So that's why I kind of was like, you making sure that I had readings for the 7-8-9 effect. And what that meant. Our portal is power, positive power boost towards all thought. Our portal was a power boost toward all thought or manifestations into an infinite connection day. Therefore, propelling the power of thought into an infinite connection. Weave it. While here we hold a cautionary consideration of our thought, invoking consideration for the outcome of our prayer or thought. Anticipation of a dark before the dawn, or a 9-9 portal, equaling 1-8. Eternity, infinite connection. This leads me to infinite connection of this day. Balancing connections, 2 in 2. Also, conscious and without conscious. A complete ability to navigate an infinite amount of crossings of perceptions or dimensions or frequencies inside and out of balance, becoming 2. Also, comfortable in the seemingly all-knowing position without contemplation of thought. Prayers becomes then stagnant in repetitive motion of going nowhere now here unless action. 9-8 2025 equals 8. I decided to give us one more shot at contemplating this power of manifestation, and who has right or skill to use it, which is, ask and you shall receive, this becomes the dilemma when we manifest. Okay? So this is why I talk so much about caution. I cannot give you the wishes to wish. I am without the power to give you the wishes to wish. I am without the power to tell you how your manifestations will impact you. I am without the ability to tell you which manifestations are good for you. But I can tell you, be cautious. Right? And at the least, I can, do something that ain't been done. Because, why should I repeat myself based on what the tarot tells me, based on what they've all taught me or to, commonly known? Why should I? Why? Where's my purpose in that? That's me. That's me. So I look at everything and I see what's missing and I try to put in on that. I come from 8 siblings, or we all equal 8. And when nobody wanted to take out the trash or do the recycling, that's the job I did. Not because I wanted to, but that's because that's the job that nobody else wanted to do. And so if I did the worst job, that didn't come out right. If I do the job that is the least loved job, how do I say this? I'll be remembered. Maybe not for the good job, but, when the trash piles up, somebody will say, hey, where the fuck is Tati at? And chock full of trash in your world, and you didn't want to do the healing. Maybe you'll ask me, because I did the healing. And so perhaps this is just a tale of one of the many ways that people can heal. Be it through, studying your esoteric relationships to the universe, or going through the EMDRs of reprogramming, or whatever the case, providing yourself with a constant questioning of what feels good and following that rather than what feels fake good, false good. I only want the best for you. I only want the best for you. But, and as much as I want the best for you, am I able to provide it for you? Likely, I will fail. My healing is my healing. Your healing is your healing. And you've got to make your peace with creation on your own, which was a tough lesson for me. Because I really, 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 really wanted my entire ancestry to be healed. But then that means I have to carry the guilt that they hold. Because I can say that, our people were a great people. But that doesn't mean my lineage has greatness attached to it in every single space and time. So space and time becomes important. My awareness of space and time is important. So my face gets lazy. I get very lazy and I start talking, so that's why I always have a different accent for every little thing. Because sometimes talking really bores me. So it's not as though I'm making fun of anybody. I'm just lazy. And my face gets lazy. And so in order to enunciate, I might take on a different. So, fuck with it. Because we Cali. Born and raised. Bred through and through. Ain't no way to make it not a whole of the entire world. 2025 equals 8. Infinite connection, positive in vertigo, plus infinite connection, plus 2 eternity, plus 2 eternity, plus harmony equals infinite connection. Root, devil. Okay, so I pulled the cards. I guess I got bored of talking about 8s and 9s and stuff like that, so I didn't bother with it. But on this day, root, devil card was pulled, sacral, hierophant was pulled, solar plex, sun card was pulled, heart chakra, root chakra, devil card was pulled, sacral chakra, hierophant was pulled, solar plexus, sun card was pulled, heart chakra, hermit card was pulled, throat chakra, judgment card was pulled, third eye, high priestess was pulled, and crown chakra, wheel of fortune was pulled. Okay, so root and the devil, in the new XV equaling 15 equaling 6, positive issues with sacral realm. No, I'm sorry. We need that. Physical. Okay, positive issues, positive. And then they said issues with physical realm, like addictions. See the darker side of and shine light via willingness to shift material or deepening your trait of your being. Face your truth. Root is red. Elimination. Folks say protection, but I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is creation, because it is the birthing canal. Because your fecal matter is can grow plants. So, yeah. So when I think about, and they say protection and stuff like that, at the same time, ridding ourselves of that matter that is no longer useful. This is what comes to mind. And so the connection between here and there, being the beginning and the end, and that being the largest, because, all of your cells will eventually be eliminated. Everything that's put into your body has a process of elimination, and the final elimination is in the root chakra. And so it is felt all throughout. If you cannot eliminate something, then it will cause illness. Okay, so sacral, hierophant, V5, harmony, use the sacred, okay, so 5 is harmony, just so you guys know where I got that. Use the sacred to guide your passions. Passions, though free, need honoring and sacred guidance, lest they be misused or led towards obsession or extreme thinking of dogma, guilt, restriction. So find your balance and practice your boundaries while exploring your comfort zone as they change throughout life. solar plexus, sun card, XIX equals 29 equals 2 to eternity. Also, eternity. Vital personal power, inner confidence, true self, spiritual, inner. You know, the solar plexus is like the inner sun, center of our universe, with this gravity control, wind to move, fire into water, fire and water make earth solidify to creation by knowing you are being without. Hold yourself to circumstance or agendas of others. By knowing your beginning without holding yourself to the circumstances and agendas of others. Okay, you are your own eternity. You are your own universe. And so being able to feel where that comes from. You know, at one point you were your mother's, and you depended on that, and then you separated. Okay, that all happened in the solar plex. Where food turns into your person. Okay, belly button to belly button. Heart. Hermit. IX equals 9, positive and vertigo. The clearing out of emotions. Listen to the heart's truth and trust your compassions. Guide your passions without a fear of intimacy. Self-love is how you bring others who treat you as yourself treats you, with compassion, truth, conviction to protect. Orange is the color of mourning. And so, and it is the place where knowledge, the bridge between the third eye knowledge and the sacral knowledge, those communications that happen on the wind, that happen on the electricity, that happen because the fire burns from within. So that's another reason why the root chakra is considered protection, because it's fire, and so it illuminates, which means that you have the awareness to see this is, with one you can't have the other, and all this stuff, they work together. And very much like the core of the earth. Okay? And so when you have self-care, when you care for yourself, you teach others to care for you. When you restrict yourself, you teach others to restrict yourself. Okay? Throat. Oh, I didn't talk about how heart is green, huh? A reflection of love. So I did talk about the red being the root and I did talk about the third eye, and now I'm going to go up to the crown where it's pink. And the reason, when you come together, the reflection is the heart. So that, you must have the spiritual knowledge, if you will, the instinctual knowledge, but then it must be filled by the compassion. So, and the reflection of that is green, light green. If you become too obsessed, it becomes dark green. Okay? So if I were to see the, the reflection of the earth in the universe, then, the trees might all be red. Variations of red. Only the red leaves would be green. And then it is said that, the more greenage or the more red the food, the more nutrients that it has in it, because it feeds your heart, your soul, and your physicality. Anyways, things about chakras, right? Throat chakra, judgment card, XX 20 to eternity. Eternity speaks authenticity. All right, so this one asks you to be authentic. A divine call to awaken, express your reflected truths, cancel self-doubt, forgive past mistakes, and make the choice to articulate your wrongs to get the right expression of what you can do, and shift the harsh into ease. Crown. Wheel of Fortune, X, equaling 10. Reflection. Reflection of what? Reflection of eternity. First we had 0, 1, now we have 1, 0. Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? It's all very basic. There's nothing complicated about it. Inner peace via connection with the higher source, spirit self, universal I and I, cycles of the fate. You were always meant to know of the shifts. Forgive me. Reflections. What 10 equals. Inner peace via connection to higher source, spirit self, universal I and I, cycles of fate. You were always meant to know or remember your being. Your spiritual path is a series of shifts from up to down, down and all around. Every place leads you to the next, like every thought builds, shreds all other thought. Are reflections of actions when after they hold truth or faith. Know your faith in our fate, and every down will be an up, and every other time always stay humble to know your reflection, your action, your ascension, your perception, This is wise. Going back to the third eye, gain clarity via insight to self-awareness, full balance, mindful connection to body via your breath, so the gut can solidify the questioning of the mind, as it will sieve through attention to gain absolute knowing, insight, wise doing, where the subconscious becomes physical. And you must decide what you think, how you think, and how that becomes what you know. See into the sights. What subtle messages outside reflect what is inside? Does this hold true for all? Or just you and yourself? Nine 2025. I didn't really go into this because it's exhausting, isn't it? 9/9/2025, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo equals positive and vertigo. Negative plus a negative equals a positive. Isn't it funny? Ain't it? Sing, my sisters, sing. Let your voice be heard. Remember that one? Shout out to Annie Lennox. I think I did this one in a previous recording, so I'm not going to get too crazy about it. Root, Chariot was pulled, Sacral World was pulled, Solar Plex Judgment was pulled, Heart, High Priestess was pulled, Throat, Sun was pulled, Third Eye, Hermit was pulled, Crown, Lovers was pulled, Spiritual. Okay, so when I did this 9899, I did it like on the minute. Okay? So the I pulled the cards right after each other, a minute apart. 1 minute I pulled and it was still 9/8. And then the next minute I pulled and it was 9/9. So shout out to astrology.com where they pulled random cards, and they truly are random. There doesn't seem to be an algorithm or a system based on it, at least not so far as I've ever seen. Okay, so root chakra, we got the Chariot equaling 511 or 5II equals 7, power, physical security, tension with ambitions. So we went from, and this is why I did this, we went from the root having the devil to the root having the Chariot. We went from the sacral having the Hierophant to the sacral having the world, okay? So these things are important, okay? We went from the solar plexus having the sun card to the solar plexus having the world card, or solar plexus having the judgment card. We went from the heart having the hermit card to the heart having the high priestess card. We went from the throat chakra having the Judgment card to the throat chakra having the Sun card. We went from the third eye having the High Priestess to the third eye having the Hermit. Okay, we went from the crown having the Wheel of Fortune to the crown having the Lovers. All right, indicative of choice, understanding, consequence of choice. And so at this time, I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to introduce our 9 card. So this was pulled 8-8 and this is pulled 9-9. And so I wanted us to see the relationship of time. Was it truly your heart's desire? You see that heart chakra? Was it truly your heart's desire? And do I have anything more to say on it? I haven't said it. Oh, we've been here an hour and 15 minutes. Am I done? I mean, am I done? Do you guys understand what I'm saying yet? I mean, come on, man. If you're going to manifest something and you're going to put action behind that manifestation in order to create something, are you going to be satisfied with your creation? Your manifestation? Okay? And only because I think I've done this already on 9-9, I sent out a thing. I'm going to leave that here. Root, Chariot, energy balance, out of alignment, warrior, controlling, 2 forces, determination, focus, change, self-discipline. So stable you're free to pursue with courage, confidence, take action, to cancel, block, and or smite. Sacral, world chakra, wholeness, successful integrations, emotions, and sensual expressions, elevated being, creative endeavors, healing wounds that lead to stability, a coming together of all parts, mastery of self-harmony with others, or off in balance. Solar plex, judgment. Wake up! Call to personal power. Rise above self-doubt. The body's powerhouse. Gut instinct. Bring to confirm. If unchecked, become controlling and ruthless. Heart. Priestess. Deeper intimacy beyond surface lies with genuine feeling. Like when you know that you're meant to do something and you have this unwavering ability to love what it is that you're doing. You know, that's the hope from the Hermit to the Priestess. Once you're done going within, become confident in your self-care practices, your self-love. in your ability to deprogram yourself and reprogram yourself based on what it is now that you love. Throat, sun, confident about expression, and joy from it authentically heals and creates confidence where all expressions are open, honest, and powerful. Another mention of the third eye. Explore your deepest emotions, thoughts, embrace your interpretations of self-wisdom for greater understanding of your spiritual path. Okay, so I'm going to go in and read this really quick. She is 25, which is 7, so she reverts us back to power. Kamala Devi. I believe I read her before, because the Kamala Devi, that all sounds all familiar, so I like, kind of sort of don't want to do it again. I hate to be, say, hey, go back and listen to that previous one, but these are sort of all together. So I'm going to ask you to do that, if you will, and trust that you will if you need to, okay? And then what I'm going to do is let you know that I pulled on that day. Ah, shit. 9/17/25 is positive and vertigo. Eternity, power to eternity. Eternity to eternity, harmony. Equals infinite connection. That was a prelude to today. 9. Oh, yeah. Where I pulled root judgment, sacral death, solar plexus, I pulled the chariot, heart, I pulled the wheel of fortune, throat, I pulled the tower, third eye, I pulled the solar plexus, the star card, third eye is the crown, I pulled the Hierophant. Ugh. Root judgment from structure, tradition, organized practice based on spiritual beliefs. A sacred dance with discernment. Sacred card, we pulled the death card. Renowned hope, clarity, spiritual intuition, typical after towers, leading to personal purpose. Goes very much in line with our 8 card that we pulled, right? Shit. God dang it. No. Damn it. Okay. Gotta read this again. Sacred judgment. Root card pulled judgment. Revival of safety. Accumulations and a fundamental spiritual authenticity. Sacral pulling the death card. Profoundly transformative passions, creativity, clearing a path to allow for change. Solar plexus pulled the chariot card, empowering forward motion, will for determined personal confidence, taking clear action. Heart pulling the wheel of fortune, fated shifts, change of hearts, compassion towards emotional balance, karmic balance. Throat chakra pulling the tower allows for breaking down walls, beliefs, structures, and keeps you from breaking down walls so that you aren't kept, so that enabling you to keep you from Throat chakra, pulling the tower, allows for breaking down walls, belief structures that keep you from expressing your truth. Throat chakra, pulling the tower card. That brings us our renowned hope, clarity, spiritual interpretation, typical of towers, after the tower. Interesting. Leading to a personal purpose. Crown, pulling the Hierophant. Forming a structure, tradition, organized practice based on spiritual beliefs. Speak and dance with discernment. All right, and then so... I don't want to be quick. But I don't want to be. All right, so for mind, we chose an ace. For body, we chose a 6. For soul, we chose the Joker. And for... that was during the last reading that I pulled. So we're going to go ahead and do it one more time really quickly. Because this is just going to be like a reading of what's going on today in the 9-9, and are we okay with what we have manifested. So I am going to take mind, 6, body, 3, soul, 2, home, health, wealth, and hearth, 7, swapping it around one more time. We're going to see what we grab in this particular. Fast as we most certainly can. And so if I wanted to get down to it, I would start doing all the math, okay? And I would start doing all of my days, and I would calculate my days. So let's see if I can do that really fast, because this is a completely just off the wall thing to do. So we have 8, 8. Not exactly sure what we pulled for the 8, 8 numbers. We don't want to spend too much time on this now, do we? Shit, man, this is going to be quite the effort. Okay, so 1, I'm just trying to, I might not have put any of all of the numbers there, so. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm going back to 8-8, and we pulled particular cards for those, and it was like, you know, root, I pulled the the magician. For the sacral, I pulled the death, I believe. Solar plexus, I pulled hermit, something like that. Okay, so basically I have them all written down, so I did that. And yes, that's when I pulled the 9 card, the Kahadga. Okay, and then that was that, and this is this, and there's that. Okay, then I went to 8-18. For which I have no idea.
This sickness has something to get. The sickness they too contain. This world be.
So again, we pulled mind 6, bodies 3, soul 2. And home, health, wealth, and hearth, we pulled 7. The only, when we did all of the math between the several dates that we are inclusive of today in the 8 to 899 portal, really the only one that came up was third eye for the soul, the 2, as in relation. So that's interesting, as it were. And so, super duper quick as I can, 7, power, passion, love or hate, doesn't matter, passion, desire, to eternity, duality of passions, love or hate, desire is all that matters. Sacred, industrial, sacred industry, sacred action, sacred not just what we communicate, but the action behind what that communication manifests. Sacred. Positive, I believe we have a positive that comes up as so does 2. Okay, up there, I want it. 2 comes up as soul, also third eye. 6 is mind, so having a how do you say mind, positive mind about minerals. This is minerals. Magical minerals. 3 comes up as body. So body, minerals. Your body is made up of minerals. however you want to see that, if that has value to you. Industry, power, home, health, hearth, wealth. Okay, so know what you truly want and know how, and master your industry. Queen of industry. Queen is also a 12, which is magic, so magical industry, if you will, also coming up as body. So again, we have passions and industry leading our home, health, wealth, and hearth. And then we have minerals and industry leading our body. And then our mind, minding our minerals. Harmony of industry, so bringing it all together and having a duality of mind, body, soul. It will bring a harmony, guiding you in your desired industry, if you will. To eternity coming up, soul, again, also third eye. So having mindful, again, passions and industry of your inner knowing, your soul's knowing, your, not just what is good for you, but in time and space, does it hold water with the universal good for you? See the duality of it? So there's the community of the outer world and then the community of the inner world, and that having a discernment. So this is community, taking on the community of your mind, taking on the community of your knowing, taking on the community of your passions, of your industry. 222 is 6, so represented when we combine these things. When we combined our passions, our industry, we develop our community that leads to a balanced mind of minerals. Magic coming in with the body. Again, your mother, your father, your baby. It's a community of wisdom. And so again, this doesn't just talk about communities, but it talks about the wisdom that you gained from that community. So it is not just about your your communities. It's about taking from those communities the most wise thought. Okay, so whilst I may have traditions and I may have ceremony, going forward, how do I create the most effective wisdom of those practices in order for the now? You didn't see Bruce Lee following any trends. He learned them all and figured out what was the most valuable moves in every single thing. He took from every practice and he created his own. That is what I'm talking about. Let's all be Bruce Lee for the day. Without the arrogance. Speaking of arrogance, minerals, magical minerals, queen of minerals, being able to know and yield those minerals, not just the knowledge of how to have them, how to use them, but how to wield them, how to grow them, how to produce them. What is the proper way to extract those minerals? Did we get them in a good way? Are we allowed to have them once we do have them? Again, not just the action that we have, not just the magic of making it, but also the physicality of gaining it. Does it truly hold and yield fruit in the body? Is it nutritious? 9, positive and vertigo industry. Sometimes having every single tool in the book, you still don't have the right one, or you need one more, or we realize how much work it's going to take in order to utilize all of those tools. Okay, industry. Just because I'm a body worker doesn't mean that's all I know how to do. Just because I'm a music maker doesn't mean that's all I'm ever going to need. We need the tools from every single corner of the universe in order to be masters of our industry. Okay, so we had, power comes up with home, health, hearth, and wealth. 9 comes up as the crown chakra and or the heart chakra when I combined all of our things. So, just again, being mentally aware of the actions that bring forth. It's not easy to get those tools in your shed, to accumulate those tools. Okay, you must go through trial. You must. It may not always seem bright and shiny, but in the end, you have that harmonious comprehension of your minerals. Two comes up in third eye, comes up in soul. Okay, so as old as we may be, we may still have just a youthful soul. So just because we think that we have all of the knowledge that we're supposed to have of our skills doesn't necessarily mean that we are aged in relationship to that within our minerals and our understanding of our minerals. So we may still have to learn from the mother when we are the child, what those minerals do, how they do. Are we still learning how to extract those minerals, how to utilize those minerals? Are we engaging with those minerals on a regular basis, or have we just learned the practice but we have not actually engaged in the development of those practices? Okay, we have more to go before we become the passionate king that is able to hold our our sacred love and hate in balance. Eternity, eternity, true, eternity, magical, sacred, harmony, positive power, infinite connection, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo, positive and vertigo, reflection. All right, so everything is sort of telling us, in a nutshell, that we are only as far as we think we have come, and we still have so much further to go. If you have not mastered the practices of utilizing your minerals, then you have more to learn. If you have all of the knowledge but fail to take all the action, then you have more practice to develop. Okay? If you are investing in something, or utilizing something in order to gain different communities then backing you up, then you must be willing to have the proper use of those minerals without the, competitive forces out of balance. Because we got to have the competition, man. It's necessary. So it's okay that there's more than one in this industry. It's okay that there's more than two passions pushing us. It's okay that we love our sweets as much as we love our greens. It's okay, because sugar yields water. Okay? Earth is pungent, helps us to eliminate. Proper use of your minerals is valid key to learn and discern. Okay? So keep your chakras in check. For they are within us, they are about us, and they are without us all at the same time. Magic. Cheers.